But as expected, I mean, we feel all the energy going on in the country. Donald Trump's numbers are actually historically good. Watch.
I do want you to talk us through Trump's popularity at this point.
Yeah, so if Joe Biden's numbers are at his lowest point, right, Donald Trump's are right near his top point. We have a little thing up here. I'm so tall, I was managed to actually bump it. Look at this. Trump's record favorable rating. You know, you go back 4 years ago, he was at 38%. Look at where he is today, 47%. That is the highest favorable rating Donald Trump has ever registered in an average of polls. So what we're dealing with is something very interesting, whereby, as I was saying, Joe Biden's at his worst point. Donald Trump is actually at his best point, being with this such a high favorable rating. One other little last thing I will point out, because I want to get to the forecast a little bit, is just take a look at this. Will Trump be a good president? In January of 2017, you saw 48% for Donald Trump. Look at where we are today. A majority expect that Donald Trump will be a good president. So expectations for him are quite high. We'll see if he's able to meet those expectations, Jessica.
Yeah.
I mean, people are ready for change. What can I say? And I know Democrats are Trump deranged and they can't admit he does anything right. But as an objective person, I've reported these things to you guys. He has done so many tangible things since being elected and not even being in office yet, that you cannot deny that he is an effective president. I mean, for so many people who were captured in the clutches of woke culture, Donald Trump released the shackles. People were like, hey, I can say that I don't want my teacher talking to my kids about sexuality anymore. That's okay again. It was like the common sense was completely dissociated with any policy that the Democrats wanted to do. So now that CNN was forced to admit that Joe Biden was no good and people are actually excited for Trump, listen to how it's just open season on Joe Biden by the panel. Like they got the green light and they took the gloves off immediately. Watch.
Biden himself is still claiming that he had a leg up against Donald Trump. That's despite pretty much everything to suggest otherwise.
I feel bad for Biden, honestly, because that man's delusional. And so either he is really out of it or he is still being lied to by people around him who are telling him, you could have won, sir. No, you could not have won. And Kamala Harris was not the reason he lost. Obama was not the reason he lost. Nancy Pelosi was not the reason he lost. If there's not going to be any introspection, these races are won by three things: candidate, message, and policy. He's got to take responsibility for all three of those things because he failed on all three of those things. He could have gone out a hero had he stuck to being a one-term president.
Yes, I agree.
Joe Biden even thinking that he could have beaten Trump is also part of the reason why the Democrats lost, because they legitimately kept a senile old man as president for 4 whole years, and our country paid the price for it. And it's like they can do all the lying that they did over the 3.5 years that he was perfectly fine, he was sharp, but the American people have eyes and ears, and we knew that they were lying to us about that. I think everything that the Democrats did turned off the Democrat voters, and they were just kind of forced to vote for Kamala. But that had to be something that was majorly offensive to them. That their party was coming out and just blatantly lying to their face that Joe Biden was all right. And we understand why now, because they had a situation where Obama staffers were basically making every executive decision as if they were the president. Obama was able to have 4 more years in office while Joe Biden was eating ice cream. Like, this administration will be a political case study for years to come on how badly you can wreck an entire economy in 4 years with the right people.